A little while ago, Adherent Apologetics posted this TikTok video on Twitter claiming 12 reasons why Christianity is true. Little video that really doesn't have any substance. It offers no real reasons and only makes claims that can easily be countered. Let's go over them one by one. Research shows that one of the main pillars of morality is empathy. This would make morality subjective. It may have an objective element, but that doesn't mean an objective source is needed. Yes, there are over 5,000 New Testament manuscripts. However, none of them are contemporary with the life of Jesus. All have been written decades or even more than a century after supposed events. People dying for their beliefs doesn't mean their beliefs are true. There is no historical evidence that the disciples were martyred. 18th century historian Edward Gibbon said that early Christians only believed Peter, Paul and James were martyred. Miracles are events for which no natural or scientific explanation has been given. Currently not having a natural or scientific explanation doesn't mean you can assert God or Jesus is responsible for that event. This is an asserting the consequent fallacy. There is no scientific evidence for the existence of a soul. There are conflicting statements made about this, all leading to the conclusion we don't know. Near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences are not necessarily related to a soul, but can also be explained through brain function. There are hundreds of contradictions in the Bible. The Bible is riddled with different accounts for the same events. Just look at the Gospels. All four say different things about the discovery of the empty tomb. The Old Testament says in Isaiah 7:14 that the Savior's name is supposed to be Emmanuel. The New Testament speaks of an angel ordering Joseph and Mary to name the child Jesus. Therefore, Jesus is not the Savior the Old Testament speaks of. A person converting to a belief is not evidence of this belief being true. Sources say that the book of Daniel was written after the events it describes took place. That would make Daniel a historian, not a prophet. Atheism doesn't need evidence, it needs justification. Atheism is the lack of belief in a god or gods. There is no reason to believe a god exists, since there is no evidence that can be interpreted solely as a god must have created this, therefore a god exists. That is all the justification needed for atheism. Surviving persecution does not mean that the belief of the Christians is justified. They also weren't necessarily persecuted for their beliefs, but for being a threat to the rulers of that era. The origin of the universe may be unknown at the moment, but this doesn't mean you can assert that the reason for its existence is God. This again is the asserting the consequent fallacy. As shown, none of these 12 reasons lead to a justification of the belief that Christianity is true.